Well, thank you for tuning into Viewpoints podcast, and I'm excited to be here. It seems like both of us have kind of been away for a while.
Scattered, yeah, been scattered a little bit.
I was in D.C. last week, and you were in Houston for a bit.
I was in Houston for nephew's wedding.
Yeah, so it's good to be back, and it's ironic that the title of your blog this week is "Glad to See Jesus." But I'm glad to see you.
It's good to see you too.
No, but this is the first time that we're going to be talking about Jesus, and he arrives on the scene, and people are celebrating him as King. And we just finished a great Sunday, Palm Sunday. And so, John, let's just talk about what we got today for the listener.
Yeah, I think it's real interesting because I think a lot of things I didn't realize through Scripture about how that when he entered Jerusalem, I guess my question was, he comes in and there's a crowd of people celebrating him, praising him, saying, Hosanna, you're the Son of David, which is, you're the Messiah. Is basically what they're saying. And then a little bit later in the week, you got the crowd saying, crucify him. Yeah. But I think it's two different crowds. I mean, I think this crowd was probably some people who came from some of the cities in Bethany, Bethpage, where he basically had done some great miracles, raised Lazarus from the dead, other things like that. And so you had these folks that here are celebrating Jesus, but it's a triumphal entry. And this was just a big part of the culture. And we've seen it in movies and stuff where, somebody comes in. I talk about in the blog, we talk about like some of the funnest things are the introduction of players, like it's basically at basketball games. I mean,
sure.
At the Tech games, they have flames that come up and they have, and then of course NBA and different people and people go crazy. It's like this.
What do you think is like one of the biggest introductions of the players that you've seen?
Well, I remember back the Michael Jordan one was really big. That was huge, that one. LeBron James is, he's got his thing with, have you seen the chalk and the whole bit? It's kind of like a little signature kind of thing, my entrance into the arena kind of thing. But that came from history. I mean, that came from what happened on Palm Sunday is, any kind of general, any kind of emperor we're having a parade. I mean, it's going to be a big parade, and we're going to come in and we're going to, kind of show off, and we're going to make this grand entrance. And really on Palm Sunday, what we're doing is this grand entrance of Jesus.
Oh, that's awesome.
But
that's a good way to look at it.
It's an amazing entrance, but then it was a head scratcher for people. And, we talked about in the blog, glad to see Jesus. People were glad, but their glad was the wrong kind of glad. They were glad for reasons that were not the reasons Jesus came in, and he was pretty clear about that. I mean, I always wonder I wonder if the disciples were really disappointed. Jesus says, I'm going to come into the city. It's Palm Sunday. It's part of Passover. It's amazing. It's great. And they're like, finally, he's going to do what we want him to do. Yeah. And then he goes, go give me a donkey. Right. And were they going, oh man, here we go again. That Jesus, he just doesn't get it. But I just wonder what it was like to see Jesus, but it's a donkey. I mean, people had to be going.
Do you feel like for someone that is celebrated should be, the donkey is probably the last resource of things that you ride on? I mean, you would think he would probably be something a little bit more majestic or something a little more powerful. Wouldn't you agree?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you mentioned back earlier at the start of this podcast that there were these two types of people. Do you feel like it was always that way and they finally just came together? Because throughout the Bible, you see certain people saying, okay, this is the Messiah. So do you feel like this is just that grand?
That's a great question. And I don't know that we know, but I do think some of them had seen the miracles, and they went, okay, that's great. But I guess the question is, if you've got none of the disciples who get it, why would any of these people get it?
Right.
About what Jesus was really doing and what his week was really going to be like. And I just think, it's one of the things we talked about in the sermon, but the triumphal entry to me is Jesus going, crown me or kill me. It's kind of like, I'm giving you two choices. I'm going to be king, not a king like you think I'm going to be a king, because I'm not coming in like a king that you would think would come in. I'm going to die at the end of this week. And so who do you think I am? It goes back to our whole series of who is Jesus. This was the big question of Palm Sunday, is who is Jesus? And I think you have people celebrating he's the Messiah, but do they still know who Jesus is? And the answer, I think you're probably right. I think probably the crowds came together and went, wait a minute, he's going to get crucified? He's not wiping them. Why didn't he? Yeah. The whole picture went away for them of who they thought Jesus was.
Do you feel like that's the ultimate question that we have to ask ourselves? Is like, what crowd do we place ourselves in?
Yeah, and I think so. I think it's what crowd are you going to place yourself in, and what are you going to, and who is Jesus? And to answer the key question of life is who is Jesus? And I think one of the big pictures that kind of puts it all in the focus for me is, here you don't have Jesus. You have all these things where, Jesus doesn't have a big army. He's on a donkey. He, doesn't have a bunch of, he's dressed humbly, all this kind of stuff. But at some point in time, there will be the King of Kings that's going to be like, you just go to Revelation and then you've got, like chapter 21 is eyes of fire and robe dipped in blood, leading an army and on a stallion. It's like, okay, it's not now, it's not,
but will be.
But will be. So, it's kind of interesting. You've got both those pictures in the Bible. Yeah. But Palm Sunday is, I think, was a head scratcher for a lot of people. And I think you're right. They came together with other people and then kind of turned.
Sure.
Because they were disappointed.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad that you unpacked that, because I've never really thought of it that way. That really was. We celebrate so many things in this world. Like one of the things I love is Conor McGregor, and he has like one of the biggest introductions ever, and it's Ireland and stuff. But I never really thought of it like that with Jesus. And so thank you for kind of opening my eyes to that, on especially the Sunday that we just had, that was the grand entrance of the Messiah. John, as we lead into Easter, is there anything that you would like to share with the listener today of kind of what we have going forward and coming up soon?
Yeah, I think one of the key things is to think about, obviously, Easter itself is a time where we answer that question, who is Jesus? And we celebrate the fact of his victory. We are in this very special week right now that leads up to Good Friday. So we've got this online Lord's Supper that's really, I think, going to be impactful and amazing that people can check out online and be a part of, and hopefully picked up supplies and that sort of thing. To me, it's very meaningful and very special to be able to do that, and then to come together on Sunday. It's pretty amazing when you think about the risen Jesus and who Jesus is, and so we'll focus in on that. That's going to be great and going to be amazing. So, my prayers for everybody that we call the blog "Glad to See Jesus." I think a couple things. One is I'd encourage everybody to always think, are you seeing Jesus? Are you seeing Jesus today? Is each person seeing what Jesus is doing? Because Jesus is at work. Jesus is present. He is there. And then to just maximize the week of just a spiritual focus of going, I don't know what you do, I know some things that you've done in the past to kind of your own spiritual preparation, but for me, there's going to be some fasting for me. I know you do that. And there's going to be a time where I just like to read. Here's what happened on Monday. Here's what happened Tuesday. Here's what happened on Thursday. That kind of thing. Good. And read some of those things and kind of go along the week with Jesus to see Jesus clearly. But that's something we can do any week.
That's great.
But this is a unique and special week. And so I just want to encourage everybody to, be part of the Lord's Supper. Amazing. We watched leadership staff, and it's going to be great.
It's going to be
amazing.
exciting.
Very exciting.
And you can do that with your group too.
Oh yeah. And just take together the Lord's Supper, get some people together. I think it's going to be great and amazing. And then Easter will be a great celebration. We're going to have several baptisms that day in the services. Anybody who signs up, I think we're going to have a pretty good group. It looks like that'll be getting baptized, and that's very special. And so we're excited to think about just the great message and great victory that we have in Jesus. And this is our foundation. This is a cornerstone of our faith right here is what we're going toward. And so I just encourage everybody to see Jesus and to prepare themselves. And I think it has a huge impact. Anything you're planning to do?
Yeah, like you said, we try to really focus in as a worship team. There's definitely probably going to be some fasting. We've been doing a lot of different fasting. Previous times we would do obviously the traditional is no food and just water. But one of the hardest has been like social media fast.
Yeah.
And so we'll probably do something like that. And the Bible plans have helped us, like you said, kind of just going out through Holy Week all the way up to Easter. So there'll be definitely we'll be doing that as a team.
That's great.
But John, thank you so much for kind of unpacking this for us and helping us to see Jesus clearly today and the viewpoints of Christ. To the listener, we hope this helped you. We cannot wait to see you on Easter morning. God bless.